Hello, I will be showing you my recommended setup for playing Emperor of the Fading Suns. I will be teaching you about what settings I have, what tools I use, and how I manage my installation and mods. First things first, find our installation folder. To do this, we launch the GOG Galaxy program, and then we navigate to our installed, or otherwise if you have not installed the game yet, own games. Then you find Emperor of the Fading Suns. At the top right, you click here and then Manage Installation and then Show Folder. You could also do this by simply right-clicking on the icon for the game, Manage Installation, and then Show Folder. Next, navigate to the Dat folder and then find the EFS.ini file. At the top, under Options, there is a setting that you want to set to 0. If this setting is set to 1, you will be seeing the intro screen. Unfortunately, this setting is default for all installations that come with GOG, so make it a habit to always set this to 0. Next, I will be showing you what tools I use. The first thing is to use the Hyperion Executable. Although not a tool in of itself, it is what you should use to run the game. The Hyperion Executable was originally the modified original executable made by Matt Caspermeyer that allows the symbiotes to build spaceships. Another alteration was the amount of resources the League aims to stock in their Agoras. The amount is now higher for all resources when using this executable. As Emperor of the Fading Suns is now set up a bit differently on GOG, the new version that you will use is specifically compatible with GOG. Download and put the file efs-hypegog.exe in your root installation folder. If you have a version called EFS-hype modern, this old version only includes the changes to the symbiotes without any alterations to the League Agoras. If you have a version called efs-hype.exe, this is the old original version made by Matt Caspermeyer for the old distribution of Emperor of the Fading Suns. It will not work on the GOG version of the game. When you want to play the game, run the new executable instead of the old efs.exe. You do not need to either delete, replace, nor rename anything at all. For multiplayer games, it is recommended that every player has this executable, but in effect, only the last player faction needs it. This is because non-house AI movements are calculated on the PC of the last player, after the last player has moved. This is usually after Al-Malik, which is the last house in the order, unless nobody started as them or they were eliminated. Next, let's use the map editor to find out where everything is. This is not considered cheating in multiplayer as it only shows the starting state. This is a good way to equalize the information gap between new and veteran players. First, let's install the map editor. Let's follow the guide. It says put the exe file and the res file in your root installation folder. Great. Let's try to start. Oh no. The code execution blah 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 because we are missing one file, wing32.dll. If your computer states that it's missing Wing32, put the file in your System32 or syswow64 folder. Because I have a 64-bit version, I will be installing the Wing32 DLL there. The path is C and Windows. And then there are two folders, System32 or syswow64. As I said, since I have a 64-bit version, I will be installing it there. Let's go here, copy the Wing32 DLL over, and that should do it. Let's try again. Looks like it worked. Now, how do you use the map editor? Well, in order for you to see anything, you should load a galaxy map. Galaxy maps are stored in a folder called .gal files. So if we click File and then Open, we can simply click on the Galaxy file that is already present. The controls are fairly similar to how you would normally play the game, but you have a bit more options. Right-click on a planet and then select Edit Planet. You may then see what sort of garrisons are present in every location. You can do the same with starships. And if you are uncertain of the characteristics of each ship, you can right-click one of them. Then in the lower left corner, click Stats. And then you can see all combat characteristics and unit behavior that are found in the data files. The program is very, very useful for finding resource deposits that are hidden behind fog of war. I would not know there to be energy here unless I had scouted this, or that there was a ruin and or metal here. Note, if you ever Alt-Tab away from the map editor and then you try to interact, you'll notice that, well, nothing is happening. How do you fix this? Well, the answer is quite odd, but simple. You simply click on the map editor on your toolbar, click on it again. Then you can see some changes have been queued while the interface did not update. And now you can use the map editor as normal. Say we click outside, then we click back in, nothing is happening. Fixed. Very simple. I would highly recommend using the Dat viewer, made by one known as Kagan a few years back, to compare unit statistics and plan technology progression. Put this program inside your root EFS folder. The program has two tabs that you will be interested in. The first one is unit.dat and the second one is tech.dat. The first for the units and the second for the technologies respectively. Starting with unit.dat, if you click a unit, it will list those statistics that the unit has read directly from the data files. We'll list everything from the unit statistics to the behavior that the unit can accomplish, such as can it be cargo? Can it transport other units? Is it non-combat, for instance? We'll show its costs, technologies, if any. Let's try to find one unit with technologies. See here that the Cadiz Dreadnought requires the Space Dreadnought technology. If we double-click the Space Dreadnought technology inside the unit.dat tab here, the program will mistakenly shift us one tab to the right. But if we shift ourselves manually one tab to the right once again to end up in tech.dat, we will end up with the corresponding technology inside the technology.dat bar, or tab rather. Similarly, we can see we have prerequisites, technologies that we can then click on to hop backwards. Clicked one technology and now the program selects the correct technologies for us. This manner we can always click backwards and backwards towards the root of the technology tree. We can also do the same with what the technology leads to. Now it is time for us to try to install mods. As everything we have done thus far is inside one folder, we can make sure that we have fewer steps to do each time by simply copying it. Now, whenever you want to install a mod, instead of reinstalling the game each time, you have simply made a backup of the original game in which you can copy to then install the mod over. Let us install the good old-fashioned Nova. Then we simply take our new folder that we made here, we rename it to Nova, and then we install. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something. Stay tuned for more tutorials.